Good morning, YouTube. Get rolling with Instagram here in just a sec. All right. Good morning, PT on Ice Daily Show. Good morning, fellow Icers. My name is Dr. Alexis Morgan. I am faculty with the clinical management of the fitness athlete, pregnancy, and postpartum. Really excited to be on here and talk with you all this morning in this new year about being a boss versus being a consultant. You may have seen that title and wondered why is this not on Leadership Thursday. That's because this really doesn't have much to do with employees at all. In fact, this is a mindset around how we approach our clinical practice. Before we dive into that topic, though, I want to let you all know of a few opportunities coming up. First of all, today marks your last day to sign up for our online cohort. So, for the next 8 weeks, we are going to be talking about all things pregnant and postpartum athlete. So, your chance to hop into that course ends today. If you've been on the fence, do it. Do it, do it, do it. We are going to have an absolute blast over the next 2 months. And we've got 3 upcoming live courses I wanted to tell you about. Number 1 is in Chicago. That is January 21st and 22nd. So it's coming up quickly. It's going to be a great course. These all are great courses, great locations. February 18th and 19th is going to be in the Woodlands, Texas. So that's just north of Houston. And our third course I'm telling you about, and there's so many more on the website, so check that out at ptonice.com. But our third one this year live is going to be March 18th and 19th in Rochester, New York. So, if you've been looking to learn internal techniques, this is the course for you. It is an introductory course. We're going to teach you how to do these things. And at the same time, if you've already been doing that, it is in some ways an advanced course because we are teaching you things that you have probably not yet learned, like the standing exam, like how to bridge the gap between what you know internal and what we know athletes do and need in and under the barbell, in the gym, hanging from the rig. So we bridge that gap and talk about that. So we would absolutely love to have you out this year in any of our live courses. So, like I said, check those out on ptonice.com. So let's talk about it. Being a boss versus being a consultant. So I mentioned that we're not really talking about employees or other businesses, but let's talk about that for just a second, just to kind of get our bearings on boss versus consultant. So boss is the one in charge, right? Kind of traditionally speaking, they're the ones that come up with the deadlines, with maybe the rules, and they're enforcing those rules and making sure that everyone follows, right? Maybe they come up with the ideas and kind of get their other people to execute on those. They tell everyone kind of what to do in a sense. And we all need bosses, right? We all need this person or this kind of this structure in some ways in various areas of life. And then there's also a consultant, which plays a very different role. And again, something else that we all need in various aspects of life, be it personal or professional. So, that consultant, they're here to solve a problem for you. But more importantly, they're here to help you solve that problem. They're going to ask questions first. They're going to try to understand the environment and really understand kind of what's going on, kind of in this outside picture looking in. But they're trying to get in and get that inward picture of what's going on. They're really, you could think of them as guides because at the end of the day, they're a third party. And it doesn't really matter if you don't follow what they recommend. They're They're just here to recommend, and you can choose whether or not you follow those. And sometimes there's really not a right answer. There's just maybe there's this better way or suboptimal way. But again, at the end of the day, it's a third party. You do as you please, right? Versus that boss, they're in the community, they're in that workplace with you. You've got to do this as we're talking about. This is going to affect all of us, including me, the boss says, right? So we have these two different types of people. Which one do we want to be for our athletes? I think probably in our clients, our patients. I think probably as the way I painted that picture, you're probably like, yeah, 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 of course. We want to be the consultant, right? We're the third party. We're on the outside. It doesn't really matter if they don't follow what we say. Doesn't affect our lives, right? We're a guide. We're trying to help them along. And I hope that you fully believe that. What I'm here to do today is to challenge you to really look and reflect on your practice. Reflect on your thoughts about your practice or about a difficult client. Where do you fall? Are you so upset that they're not following what you told them? If you're so upset about it, you may be acting more like a boss than a consultant. We see this a lot in physical therapy, broadly speaking, but narrowed in, we see it a whole lot in the pregnant and postpartum space. Examples like, don't do sit ups after X amount of time. That is so bossy. We've got a deadline, we've got a rule, and we've got like oh, you better listen to me because I know best. When in reality, there's an absence of some evidence there. And actually, we're starting to see the evidence swing the opposite direction. Keep doing core work, keep doing sit ups or hanging from the bar. So, a consultant would say, so here's how we look at core work and we explain it. And the consultant would look at the person in front of them and go, this person has been doing sit-ups for 10 years. They love doing toes to bar. In fact, they're the best at the gym. Like they can string them together really well. We're not good at the weightlifting stuff, and they're really not that strong, but man, can they do those toes to bar. And toes to bar and sit-ups are important to this athlete. So the consultant gives them a choice, right? And says, okay, here's the deal with sit-ups. We see that stronger cores actually have an easier time postpartum getting around, right? Getting up out of bed, reaching over to get baby. So those early postpartum days. We also see that a stronger core is correlated with lower rates of diastasis or that gap in the core 1 year postpartum. So, what do you think? Knowing this evidence, hearing your bias towards you really want to do it, um, I think you can do it. I think you feel safe. versus someone who comes in and they're like, yeah, I'm really freaked out about doing core stuff. I read all the things online. I know not to do it. So I'm just backing off completely. And we're sitting there like, ooh, we don't want to back off completely, right? Because it's correlated. Weaker core, later it's going to be challenging, not impossible, but challenging, right? We know it's safe. They've never done it. It would be a good thing for them, but they're scared out of their minds to do core work. So the consultant, how would the consultant act? The boss would say, no, 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 we've got to do this. You got to do the core work. It's so good for you. Let's do it. The consultant is going to ask questions, is going to figure out a way to decrease threat and find something maybe that they're already doing that's core work that they didn't know and start there and slowly, gradually expose them to more and more core work throughout that pregnancy. We are consultants. We are made to be these guides for our clients. I think we all want that at the end of the day and at our core. I think a lot of times on social media and in our dark moments where things aren't going super well in clinic with one or two patients, right? When we're not really sure what's going on, it in these dark times where we're kind of reflecting back and we're getting frustrated that it's not going as we expect. It's in those times that we tend to lean towards being a boss. As we're starting this new year, don't forget to be that consultant. Don't forget that that is what your client needs you for. They need you to help, especially in this pregnant and postpartum space. They need you to be that consultant very, very frequently, particularly when there's an absence of evidence. So, not telling them absolutely yes or absolutely no, except for when absolutely necessary, and more frequently helping them make that decision for themselves. So I hope this is helpful to you all. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. So leave comments below. And I look forward to seeing you all hopefully in our online course, if not out on the road live. If you have any questions about either one of our courses, again, feel free to, you can message me at Alexis Morgan PT. And you can also leave the comments below. Thanks so much for being here this morning, y'all. Have a good one.